And we're live.
Hey, it's a finally feeling good Friday. How you doing? I'm Paul Sullivan in the studio with me today. You can call him Phil. You can call him, you can call him the Goat. You can call him Philip. You can call him Felipe. His real name, as you can see, right, I'm trying to figure out where it is right there. It was Felipe Tinajero. So, Phil, welcome to the show, dude.
Thank you for having me, Paul.
So, you're sporting the Cubs gear.
I'm a Cubs supporter now.
There's a reason. Now, Billy, by the way, is on his way to Atlanta. They're actually going up to Truist Park. We're going to get into Phil's story here in just a minute. But Coffee High actually playing on the field.
That's amazing. Taking
on Perry. That's going to be so cool. Have you ever been actually on a Major League ball field? I got to say, it's pretty cool. When Billy was on the show with me last week, I said that I went to the Atlanta Braves Park. One year I took my grandson where you can run the bases. Or like little kids, not adults. Right. Little kids can run the bases. So I was down on the field and I kind of just did that little creep, took a little bit of the dirt, stuck it in my pocket.
It's going back home with me.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool thing. I mean, it's in an envelope somewhere. I put Atlanta Braves Park. But I did that at Wrigley Field too for Chicago. But you can see behind us the Chicago Cubs and the Atlanta Braves taking on each other, kicking off a 3-game series today. They're actually in Chicago. So while Billy and his family, his son, Trevor, thank you very much. I was going to say Cooper, and I'm like, that's not right. So his son Cooper, April and Billy and the whole gang, the whole family, they're going to Truist Park to watch them play Perry. And again, that's just got to be so cool.
It's gonna be a great memory for sure.
It really is. I mean, just when you're standing on the field, I mean, it's like when you watch it on television, or even if you go to the game, and you're in the stands, I mean, the park looks big, but the field looks tiny, but man, when you're standing on the field and you look up, like the field is huge. So I'm curious to see how many fly balls go over the head of an outfielder.
Yeah,
playing high school ball, and see how it rolls all the way to the wall. Guy's gonna be running for days. So there might be some inside the park home runs at the game. By the way, the game, if you're able to make it, the game's not until like 6:00 tonight, and it's absolutely free to get in. So, if you've got a child playing, or if you're from Coffee County and you want to go support the team, still got time to get up there. And again, free to get in. So should be a whole lot of fun. So now we talked about the Braves and the Cubs taking on, they're playing each other, and it's almost, as much as I hate to say it, dude, it's almost like, battle of the bottom feeders right now.
Braves are terrible right now.
I mean, Braves are 5-8. My Cubs are 5-7. So, I mean, it's just been a rough start for both teams. So, but hey, I still love my Cubs no matter what. I mean, they were the lovable losers for a really long time before they won the World Series. But now you have a very special opportunity to become a Cubs fan.
Yes.
So tell me the reasoning behind why you want to be a Cubs fan now, Phil.
Well, my son plays for his minor league team, or I don't know, but how do you call this? Rec league department?
There you go.
He's a Cub. He plays for the Cubs.
So he's on the Cubs team.
Yes.
By the way, I forgot to send Smith the photo, so I'm going to let him work on something real quick, because we've got a picture of now, do you call him Little Phil, or you just call him Phil?
Depends on the dime. Sometimes I call him Little Phil. Sometimes just regular Phil.
It just depends. Depends. So wake up, out of a dead sleep. He wakes you up in the morning and goes, Dad, what do you call him?
What's up, Phil?
Okay, so you call him Phil.
I
wondered if maybe like you called him something else. If he woke you up out of a dead sleep, you might be like, hey, you little, not Phil either. So I wondered about that. But while Smith is pulling up, so is this his first year playing baseball, or how many years has he played?
On pitching machine his first year.
Okay.
He played 2 years in T-ball, just getting ready, practicing, learning the basics.
So is he going to be a slugger?
He's pretty good.
Pretty good?
He's pretty good.
So did he play last night or the night before?
Last night.
Okay, so how do you do?
He did really well. He hit 3 out of 4, hit 2 runs in, an RBI.
Look at him go. And see, there's the picture. There's little Phil right there, sporting the Cubs T-shirt uniform, whatever you want to call it. By the way, standing in front of the Stang.
He wanted to go to the game in that. He had to take the SUV.
That's he had to ride in the SUV. Poor little guy. Well, give us the lowdown of the Mustang too while it's in the photo.
Oh man, it's a lovely Mustang. I love it. 15 GT Premium Track Package 2, 6-speed manual.
And what year is it?
15.
And did you buy it brand new?
No, I bought it pre-owned.
Bought it pre-owned. So how long have you had it?
2.5 years.
2.5 years. So what's next on the car list? Are you going to keep the Stang for a while, or are you looking to get something different?
I don't know. It's I got it really low paid for already, so it's just a low payment and it's nearly paid for. So if I don't keep it, then I'll trade in for a newer Mustang, but only for like a Shelby. I only trade for a Shelby or something.
So you're a Mustang guy.
I want a Porsche 911,
wow. Well, look at these guys.
Future.
I mean, this is just part of, this is kind of the inside or the backside of Billy Merritt marketing, if you will. Now we've got guys that work for us. Okay. So, I mean, you've got, what year was it? A 2018, 2015?
Yes, sir.
2015 Mustang. It's super sharp though. I mean, it's fast.
Yes.
I've heard you rip out the parking lot.
Yeah, I've cruised.
You know, if police are watching, I mean, he strolls out of the parking lot. You know, if the police are watching, you know, so you got the cool Mustang. Jamie Lopez, who works for us, he's got the cool Charger.
Yes.
You know, then we got, you know, Kevin Tinajero, your cousin, he's got the cool Vet.
He got the Vet.
Man, I mean, we got Jose Santiago, who has the Maserati.
Yes, sir.
And I have the Honda CRV.
You're the boss.
I'm just saying, you know, just
honcho.
right up there. But one thing I can always say, Phil, is that no matter what, I mean, do we want to bring up Smith's car?
Smith, yeah, he's a legend.
I mean, I've got the CRV, which most people be like, well, that's kind of embarrassing when you got Corvettes and Maseratis and all kinds of stuff. Smith, what's your car?
Camaro.
It still runs. It's paid off.
What's your car? It still runs. That's what it is. That's how he describes his car. It still runs. So what year is yours?
I believe it is a 2005.
He believes.
I'm pretty sure it's 2005. I hate to get this stuff wrong. Nissan Maxima. We've had to replace a couple parts in the transmission, all that sort of good stuff. Some sensors here and there. I believe we replaced the radiator.
Gotta love that. So did you buy yours new?
No, actually, it got passed down from my grandma to my ma, and then at some point, we decided my dad could take his truck back, and that she would just give me the car. So, I mean, it was paid off. It's got good gas mileage.
Yes.
It was obviously in much better condition at the time.
So he believes that it's a what year?
2005.
2005. Okay, so he believes it's a 2005. But as he put it, it still runs. So,
and it's paid for.
So there you go. And it's paid for. Yeah, he's got the best car payment in the building doing that. So now part of our show. Now I know that a lot of times you're on the road. You've been on the road a lot. You've been over in Louisiana. Where's some of the places that you've been working for us where you've gone to see some car dealerships? What states?
Louisiana, Texas, Philadelphia, or Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Florida, South Carolina, Tennessee. I think that's the ones I've worked at are those.
Yeah. So, I mean, you've been, what is that? 7 or 8 states, something like that, So is there a state that you would like to go visit? Whether it's for work or for pleasure?
That I haven't been to?
Yeah.
Not really.
Not really. So if we had a dealership in California, you're like, nah, I'm good. I don't want to go.
That's a long drive or a long flight. for fun, yeah, I'd go. But.
So you want the car dealership in Jacksonville, Florida?
Yeah, I want the one in. If we had one in Broxton, I'd like to go to the one in Broxton.
So Felipe is available for the Broxton car dealership if you would like him to come and be your staffer on site. Well, most of the time, again, you're either working pages, helping our dealers in the office, or you're on location somewhere, off in another state or somewhere. Meanwhile, I know you watched us a little bit when you can, when you're, when you get a minute or two. So, part of the show is the beer recommendation of the day.
Right.
Week. All right. So this one, I have to admit, I thought Billy was going to be here. Okay. But I forgot about him going to the Braves game. So, since the Braves game was here, was at night, I thought he was going to be here for the show, but so I thought he was going to be here. And, Billy and April, they're always talking about how they love the beach and the islands and, that whole kind of thing. Well, the beer of the week this week, I got to tell you, this thing, it's Sweetwater Brewing Company. Now, this is actually made in Georgia. Sweetwater Brewing Company is made in Georgia. And this is a very unusual beer. It's called Troptimistic. Troptimistic is the name of the beer. Now, it's a wheat ale, but it's made with passion fruit and kiwi. So it's very kind of islandy, as they call it. It has kind of island flavor. So cheers, dude. Welcome to the show. Yes, so give it a taste. Also, Smith, because he's not a huge beer drinker. I gave him a bottle so he can kind of taste it because he's like, I like kind of he likes more of the apple ales and stuff like that. So Smith, you take a sip and tell me what you think.
It's definitely got something nice on the bottom. It's still got a lot of the beer
taste.
But yeah.
Well, it is beer, so that's probably why it has that beer taste. It still has a lot of that beer. But it is very light though, don't you think?
Right.
Yeah, it's
So
got
I
a
mean,
nice.
if you're on the beach and it's hot, and you got one of these and it's really cold, it's a very unique beer. So try this out. Sweetwater Brewing Company, again, in Georgia. They have a lot of different types of beers. And I know, again, Phil, you're not really a huge beer drinker, and neither is Smith. So, I mean, from somebody who's not really a beer drinker, scale of 1 to 10 on your first taste, what do you give it?
What's a 10?
I mean, well, all right, since you're not a beer drinker, I'll say this. On a scale of 1 to 10 for how good a beer is, what would be the top level for you? I mean, because you'd never be a 10 because you're not really a big beer drinker.
Yeah, I'd say probably like a 6.
Okay. So, hey, so it's above average.
Yeah.
So
it's better than, Michelob or Corona. I don't really like those at all.
yeah. So, so this is above average according to Phil. So Smith, again, I know you're not a huge beer drinker, but on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you put Troptimistic?
I think I'd say about the same thing, about a 6.
About a 6. He's such a copycat.
No, it's above average.
Smith's a follower. No, he's not. He is so unique, and he is a man of his own mind. I'm telling you, he is definitely a unique fella. So, but not so. Smith, you said that you drink what is it? Angry Orchard.
Yeah, I like the Angry Orchards. I like what are those, blackberry lemonade?
Was that Mike's?
Yeah,
Mike's
I
Hard
like
Lemonades?
the Mike's
Yeah,
Hard
okay.
Lemonades.
So girly drinks.
Yeah, girly drinks,
Pretty much.
that or wild turkey.
See, that's what cracks me up. See,
No,
he goes from like girly drinks or straight wild turkey.
about the only thing I do like a couple of wines, like a nice sweet Moscato. I dig that sort of thing.
Okay,
but that's
tried
about the
these.
only in between. What are those, like 10% or something like that?
yeah. I mean, wine. I'll give you a little clue. I mean, now I've had some wine that I do like. I don't claim to be a wine drinker.
Right.
I mean, I don't buy it, stuff like that. And the reason I say that I'm not a wine drinker is I really just don't appreciate it.
Mhm.
So wines, if you want a good wine, most of them are expensive. So I'm just kind of like, well, I mean, I'm good, I'm good, optimistic right here. I'm good with the beer, I mean, I know some people will give me grief, some of my friends who would drink, and I'm not gonna beer bash, I mean, but if they want to drink, Budweiser or Miller or whatever it may be, Natural Light,
Little Natty Light.
yeah, I mean, stuff like that. It's like, hey man, it's your money, it's whatever you want to drink. But they give me some grief because like and I just got this here in town, so it's a little bit more expensive here in Douglas because it's a smaller town. But this was $9.99 a 6. For a six pack it was $10. So you can get. I don't know how many beers you can get of Natty Light for $10.
Like
Quite a
24
bit.
back.
Quite a bit. I'm just saying. So, but wine is much more expensive, like, per volume and all that kind of stuff. So it's not really, like I said, I've had some good wine, but I don't really appreciate it. So I kind of stay away from that. Now, wild turkey, by the way, again, don't let Smith fool you. He says, girly drinks, stuff like that, but then he says straight wild turkey. So that's not for the light at heart.
No.
I mean, it's really not.
One of the coolest drinks I've seen in Louisiana, they have like Crown already mixed in a can.
Oh, wow.
It's you can get Crown and Coke, Crown, green apple, or peach. I said, that is awesome.
So,
I've never seen that in Georgia.
So did you pick up some of those?
I got the green apple one.
So is it green apple and Coke?
No, green apple and Crown.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just, I mean, what's it taste like?
Crown
tastes like
and green apple. Yeah.
Like a Jolly Rancher?
Yeah, it's really good.
Again, like a green apple Jolly Rancher?
See if I can find them. They were at a place called Henry's if you're ever in Hayes, Louisiana.
Okay. So Smith, do you mix yours ever? Do you ever mix wild turkey with anything, or do you drink it solely straight?
I usually just put it in ice, honestly. Can't think of anything. I don't think I've ever found anything I liked mixing it with.
So a little bit of ice sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Yeah, well, especially if it's the honey turkey. That's very easy to
They're
drink.
expensive though.
Yeah. So $15 for 4 cans of that Crown Apple, type stuff or whatever. So that's definitely unique. Now, one thing that I will say, depending on what you're, where you're at, because that's the thing. I mean, I always keep whiskey in my house. I always say that I'm not really a huge whiskey drinker, but if somebody actually does come to my house, most of the time the beer that I have, they don't really,
Right.
And a lot of them don't like it. It's a little, it's a little unusual, stuff like that. So I know that just about anybody will drink whiskey, especially if you mix it. I mean, if you put it with Coke or ginger ale or something like that, it's a pretty easy drinking liquor. So I always keep whiskey in my house. So no, do you keep a particular liquor? Like you keep Crown in your house?
You like Disaronno at my house.
Okay, Disaronno.
Yeah.
So Smith Wild Turkey. Anything else on the shelf there? Do you have like a bar shelf or just the shelf? You have the Wild Turkey shelf
and Patron, I guess.
Oh, and Patron. Okay, he's got Patron. All right, so
I don't really keep anything on hand these days, but I do like. I don't remember what the brand is, but there's a brandy that I like quite a bit. Just something I think I tried out at my uncle's place years ago.
Brandy? Is that what you said?
I don't think I've ever
Brandy.
tried that. If I did, I didn't know it.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Brandy's definitely an acquired taste. Again, I haven't had many brandies. I've had maybe 4 or 5, and most of them I don't really care for. It's very potent.
Yeah.
At least the ones that I've had. It's pretty overwhelming. So they put it. The brandy snifter. You're supposed to swirl it around and all that kind of. I'm like, anything I really have to work with.
I don't want to drink it.
I'm like, whatever, man. You go work your drink. I'll work my drink. Just simple and easy. Pop the top, and I'm good. So, all right. So let's get back to enough about drinking.
Yeah, into a drinking show for a second there.
So we turned into the Alcohol Friday show there for a minute. So let's turn back to Little Phil.
Right.
So he's how old again?
7.
He's 7. All right. So if you were going to give advice to somebody who is about to have a baby,
right?
Because now you've got 7 years in, you've learned maybe some hard lessons,
yes.
some tricks of the trade, if you will. So what would be something that you would give advice to? Let's start with a young dad. Right? So he's about to have a baby. What do you tell him to expect?
A lot of I guess nerve-wracking stuff. It's your first kid, you're going to be nervous, not sure what to do. The best thing to say is just take every day for every day. I mean, just don't waste a day because time flies by. Little Phil seemed like he was 2 yesterday. Now he's about to be 8 in December.
Now you have 2 children, right?
2.
And
yes.
the name of your daughter?
Mia.
Yeah. Okay. And How old's Mia?
2.
I almost stumped him there.
I
almost stumped him. So 2.
She's
so
2.
What's the difference? Like what were some of the things that were different with Lil Phil versus Mia being the second child? What were some things that you did differently between the 2 children? Because people always say that. They're always like, oh, your first one, you take a million pictures. You look at everything, then the second one comes on. You're like, yeah, she's walking. Okay, whatever.
She's just crazy. She was walking early. I mean, it's just no big deal. Okay, you walk at 10 months. So have fun. I guess the crib.
Okay.
The crib was a big thing. Little Phil, he was like my first kid. So you're right here on the bed. Mia, crib first day. You're in the bed.
Nope, you're in the crib.
How about it?
So more children in the mix?
Not soon. Not a plan.
So and your wife's name is
Anna.
Okay, Anna. So Anna, that was not a no. I'm just saying.
Just not now.
And I'm just saying, it's not a no.
Got to get Little Phil through.
So
a little bit older.
All right. So how'd you pick? Now, I mean, obviously, Phil, named after you.
Mm-hmm.
So how'd you pick Anna? How'd you pick Mia?
There was a game that I played. I borrowed from Kevin when I was in like 8th grade, and I really liked the main character. It was a Fire Emblem game on GameCube. Her name was Mia, and I was like, I like that name. So I'm gonna name my kid Mia if I ever have a kid.
So did Anna have a name choice that she lost?
Yeah, I think she lost a few.
So you're definitely wearing the pants in the family. Yeah. He's like, no, my kids are going to be named this.
No, just with naming the kids. I don't really remember what she even wanted to name them. If I ever have another kid, I already know the name for that kid too.
So what's the third kid going to be?
If it's a son, I'm gonna call that guy Hero.
Hero.
Is that also from a JRPG?
That's from Gundam. Gundam Hollywood.
Gundam Wings.
That's too funny.
Good
show. Named after the animes.
So your child is going to be named Hero
with 2 E's.
You better hope that he is
a specimen. This guy better be a specimen.
Yes, yeah. Because
otherwise, change his name to non-alpha.
Yeah, because otherwise he's going to get pounded when he goes to school.
If he's not a specimen by the age of 4, I'm going to change his name to Ethan.
Oh, shots fired. Shots fired. Where does Ethan come from? Should we go there?
I was just going to leave him out of it.
No, we're just going to leave that. So Smith, let me ask you. Now, I know you don't have any children. That he knows of. So do you have a name for a child? If you were to have a child, do you have one kind of in your mind, a child's name perhaps?
I don't think I do. No. I guess the closest thing I can think of is like what I default my characters and RPG names to. I always name the females Halcyon.
Halcyon would be the female?
I guess so. That's what I name all the characters in my games.
Okay, so. and then the guy, if you had a boy, your guy's name would be what?
I'm gonna half copy Phil. I'm gonna say Troa.
Troa.
That's from the same
He
show
gets
Heroes
it.
from.
Man, where are you guys getting these? I mean, see, that's the difference. See, like when I was a kid, you were named people like John and Bill and Jim and Paul and Steve.
Yeah, my
and
wife
real
named my son
names.
Christopher.
Okay.
He's not from Winnie the Pooh.
So what's the most unusual name of like people that you know, people that you know, and we're not picking on the name, just unusual. What's one of the most unusual names that of people that you know, not like one you read online somewhere.
I don't know. I don't want to say anything.
You don't want to. You don't want to call them out, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Gonna keep going.
So be on the lookout for Hero Tinajero.
Yeah, that's a great name.
Hero Tinajero.
Specimen.
I mean, you hear that?
Yes. I gotta give him a good middle name.
Yeah.
Good middle
Yes,
name.
you do.
He needs a great middle name.
Yes, you do. And here in the South, people do use the middle name a lot. So,
yes.
What's your middle name?
I don't have one.
Okay. And so, why don't you have a middle name?
I have no idea.
Your mom just got lazy. She was
I
like,
guess-
"Nah, I'm good.
You know what,
One
Phil?
name, that's it. That's all. I'm not even going to call him that.
This guy's a legend. He needs too much of a legend for a middle name.
I'm just going to call him Legend. That's what I'm going to do.
I'm
call
a
him-
junior though, I guess.
So you're
Yeah.
junior.
Actually, I should be a third. And my dad's Felipe too. So.
So, would you think that your life would have been different had you had a middle name?
Possibly, because I always had to, like, when I got like high scores on games at like Chuck E. Cheese, I had to put like an X, FXT instead of like, I put PFT after 11. Like, my middle name is gonna be Felipe. I'm gonna be Philip first name, Felipe second.
I don't know. I mean, if you got the high score on a game, you put FXT. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it has kind of a ring to it. FXT. So who's? By the way, I know that Smith, you're a huge gamer. And I know you play games too.
I do.
Do you consider yourself a gamer, or you just kind of play sometimes?
Before, I was traveling. I played pretty religiously.
Okay.
Now I travel with my Xbox actually, like on the plane.
Oh yeah, you're a gamer.
The Xbox
Yeah,
comes
no,
with me on the plane.
Yeah, if you travel with your Xbox, that's a pretty good definition that you're probably a gamer. So who's the best gamer that you know? Again, that you personally know, not like some guy online.
Oh man, I don't know.
FXT3 or something like that.
It's different games. Kevin's really good at a few games that I know. Like
Okay.
Kevin's pretty solid.
Yeah, but see, if you describe somebody as pretty solid, that's not the best gamer. I'm sorry. No disrespect to Kevin, but I'm going, hey, if you describe him as pretty solid.
I just did different games. Like Kevin, probably a few games. Kevin's the best. Jose, he's the best at one of the games I know. My other cousin, Kevin's older brother, is really good at a lot of games. Maybe him, honestly.
And what's his name?
Gustavo. Yeah.
Okay.
Gustavo.
So
I'll smoke Gustavo and Kevin a few games. So don't let him. I'm in a scrub.
So Smith is, he's a pretty good gamer.
I've never gamed with Smith, so I can't say Smith.
I mean, Jose's told me that that he's pretty good. However, now let me ask Smith first. What are your three top games?
My three top games, the ones I'm the best at.
Yeah,
or the ones,
the ones that you're the best at, in your opinion.
Let's see, probably at the top would be Tekken. Yeah, probably not any first person shooters on this list. Pretty bad at those.
Okay.
Tekken. Mostly other than that, I'm usually playing like RPGs.
You play like Mortal Kombat? Are you good at that game too? Or like fighting games?
Yeah. Are you good at any games that other people know?
That other people know.
Tekken? I know Tekken. That's a fun game. Who do you pick? Like, I can't even remember the guy's name.
I'm pretty good
Heihachi or something like that.
Oh, Heihachi,
Yeah.
Jin. Yeah.
Well, let me just tell you, I can hold my own with Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong. I can't play that game to save my life. With the little barrel jumping.
I can hold my own now. I may not be the best, but I've been on the board at the arcade. I have.
Pac-Man.
That's right. Yeah, Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man when it came
I
out.
like Miss Pac-Man.
I don't really know why they made a Miss Pac-Man. I don't really get it.
It's the same as Pac-Man.
Yeah, two different versions. Like one. Oh, this one's pink.
It's got a hair bow.
Okay, it's just there. So Smith, are you of those three games that you rattled off? Is there anybody that like personally? Again, not like somebody online, but somebody that you personally that's better than you at those?
At Mortal Kombat, definitely a couple. At Tekken, as long as I'm on my main, I think I could whoop most people I know.
Oh, look at that.
Now, with all that said,
Smith, humble much?
The thing is, these days, if you don't see me streaming on my YouTube channel, I'm probably not gaming. I just don't do it that much anymore. I'm either like watching videos on how to do wavetable synthesis or something crazy like that, some new
Mhm.
sound design technique I want to learn, or I'm watching anime or on the bike.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much my downtime.
So have you ever rode a bike while watching anime and playing a video game?
That's a great idea.
That's a hard thing to do.
I can do it. I can do it.
Multitasking, you know, you're riding down the dirt road. I can just see him wiping out.
I've gotten so
Damn
over.
it, Paul.
I've probably gotten a little cocky with the no hands thing because I do pull
See?
I do pull my phone out sometimes, just like, okay, let's unlock the code. Let's
So
check my
what
stocks
game?
while I'm biking.
Jose is one of our other ninjas that works for us here at Billy Merritt Marketing, and he's a great guy, very, very focused, if you will. So I know he's a good gamer. So what's a game that he's really good at that he always wants you to play with?
It's probably Destiny. Yeah.
Destiny, is that the one?
Definitely Destiny 2.
So have you played, Jose? Have
Never.
you played? So I know Smith has.
Yeah.
So how bad does he beat you? I mean, like on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 just getting your butt handed to you, 1 keeping it close. I mean, where are you at?
Most of the time, it's like a 10-1.
Oh man, he's
Every once in a while, I'll get, I don't know, I guess I'll get really sweaty. I'll pull out the grenade launcher and like use nothing but my favorite weapon and kind of take him by surprise. He's got to be a little off his game for it to happen, though.
so like maybe make him play like one-handed.
Yeah.
Right.
Or like with one eye shot or something. Got to make it challenging. I mean, come on, give him some. You got to give Smith some kind of handicap. I mean, come on, got to make it level. So Phil, let me ask you a game that you're not really that good at. Do you like playing against somebody who's way better than you? Do you like playing that game?
Depends.
Yeah, so like I'm not.
It's like, there's a few games that I play with other people and I suck at it. And just to play with other people.
Okay, so you're just trying to get better, or just to have somebody to play with.
Getting better. Of course, I'm gonna get better, but
Okay.
just to, I guess, to talk to people.
Okay. So, by the way, we do have a couple of comments. My mom, of course, good morning. So good morning, my mom. Candace Smith, she was talking about, she said, poor kid. She was talking about your kid's name, your future kid's name, Hero. What in the world?
What a nice name.
Yeah, and what was Smith? What was yours again?
Troa. It's another character from
Spell
the same
that.
show. I think it's TROA.
TROA. Troa. Oh man, I'll tell you.
That's a great name.
Okay, I left out a W.
That's a TROWA, right?
TROWA. Yeah,
If Smith now is that a boy or a girl?
it's a boy.
Okay, Troa. All right, so if Smith has a young boy and he names it Troa, that kid is going to get killed.
Troa Smith, that's a specimen.
I mean, you want to stop bullying? You got to stop naming your kid Troa.
Man,
Yeah, that's the first thing right there.
There's some odd names out there for sure.
Oh
though.
yeah.
So, all right, so let's since I was kind of saying that in jest, talking about bullying, but let's talk about bullying for a minute. All right, now again this is a fun show. I mean, it's Feel Good Friday, but now were there some bullying instances on you? Like, were you picked on when you were younger?
Yeah, by Kevin.
So your own cousin, Kevin's the bully. Kevin's the bully.
I really just, I guess, just fighting as a cousin. Just never.
So I mean, so you were not really bullied in school.
Smith.
Smith, you were you?
When I was
I don't wanna
much
say.
younger.
Not that I remember. I mean, let's just beat my ass. I didn't know it.
Phil just woke up one day. I don't know how I got here,
It's like, you know?
but I'm really sore and I'm all bruised up. I don't know what happened. Smith, how about you?
I don't like kindergarten through like second grade. I got a bit of it. Yeah.
Oh, he had a kindergarten bully.
Oh man,
Man, that's pretty sad. What
That's
kind of
tough.
what kind of kid's a bully in kindergarten? Dang.
Older kids.
Oh man,
Well, how old was the kid in kindergarten? I mean, what was he held back like 4 years? Kid's like 10.
He's just walking to
I'm a
school.
specimen.
He's walking around these kindergartens. Don't want to play kickball.
Maybe it was first grade and I'm misremembering. That's entirely possible. That's a long time ago. I do remember him seeming like a giant though. He picked me up and threw me in a ditch one time. That sucked.
Picked him up and threw him in a ditch. That sucked.
That would suck.
Looking back,
that sucks. Yeah,
looking back, I wonder why there was such a ditch on the playground.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know that like somebody designed that.
It's like,
Somebody that was a bully when he was a kid, he designed that playground.
Somebody's gonna need this ditch one day.
It's like, yeah, we're gonna make something happen here when they're a kid. So, well, all right. So Smith, when you were a kid, before you got all into music and all that kind of stuff. So, all right, let's take kindergarten to, what'd you say, kindergarten to second grade, somewhere in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, what were things that you liked to do between kindergarten and second grade, if you can remember that far back? Not that far back for him, but really far back for me.
I mean, honestly, I was definitely gaming and watching the anime a lot, but I was
in kindergarten.
I was just a huge nerd. I was mostly just a huge nerd. I was really into the work, into the book stuff. I guess I don't know. Maybe it was because I felt like I was smart or whatever. I was just very
felt like he was smart in kindergarten.
I don't know.
That's why that kid beat him up, threw him in the ditch.
So I'm failing first grade because of you.
So you ruined the curve. You were that guy that ruined the curve.
Perhaps.
And by the way, I just noticed on the monitor, you can see my Cubs logo right here. And then you see Phil lean a little bit.
Oh, wrong
the
way.
other way.
The other way. Cubs.
I look down and all I can see on Phil is BS.
BS. With a check mark. Perfect.
I'm like, well, all right then. Special guest BS, Felipe. So I know that. By the way, so when's Little Phil's next game?
Tuesday at 7.
Tuesday at 7. So how many games do they get to play when they're 7 years old?
2,
10?
I think 14.
14 games? 14. Okay.
And then they have, if he makes All-Star, he plays All-Star games.
Oh, he's going to be an All-Star, isn't he?
I hope so. If not, then there's always next year.
He's got a good start.
He's got Okay. Oh, I love this guy.
But so I had to change it up because I'm like, wait a minute now. If Felipe is going to be on the show with me, I mean, I know Phil is a big Nickelback fan.
Yeah.
So we're going to go back 20 years, 2001. Nickelback's CD, the very first one that they released called Silver Side Up. Now, I know you're a big Nickelback fan. You and I have talked about this. And even though there's lots of blowback now, people, I hate Nickelback.
Nah.
They all love
everybody
Nickelback.
Likes this guy.
I mean, come on
somewhere.
now, man. At some point, everybody liked Nickelback. And when this album came out, they sounded so unique. Now, again, I know they've been out for a long time now, and people are like, oh, they sound the same and blah, 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 blah. But when this album first came out in 2001, nobody sounded like this. They really had their own sound. Now, do you remember this album? I
was 6 when this album came out. I probably if you name some songs off of it, I could.
6.
Yeah,
man,
6.
Oh man, I'm such an old man.
And my sister was born that year.
Phil was 6. He was 6 with Nickelback.
I like Nickelback at this time.
It's like, yeah, Nickelback rocks. So the album came out in 2001, and again, Silver Side Up was the name of it. But you probably remember How You Remind Me. That was
I love the song.
That was their first song. That kind of just made the big impact. Too Bad was on there. Never Again was on there. So a couple of really good, strong singles for him that got him a lot of notice. And now I got the microphone stand. Doing one of these. Thanks a lot, Cooper. We'll just throw Cooper Gruska under the bus. He was in the studio fooling around. And he broke the mic stand, I think. But one of the deep cuts on Silver Side Up that I want you to find that if you're not aware of it is called Hangnail. And Smith, you'll like it. There's a really cool guitar part. So, I mean, it's just a really cool guitar part on the song Hangnail. So go check out Nickelback's Silver Side Up. So what's your favorite Nickelback song? It's probably not on this album. I know there's probably a different one.
Probably not.
Because you were 6. So, I mean, how much jamming can you really
I just like Rockstar, probably. I mean, it's
Rockstar.
it's a classic song by Nickelback.
Yeah, so Rockstar. So, Smith, I know you like a lot of the, we'll call it out of the ordinary, bands, out of the mainstream, if you will. So, do you like Nickelback?
Yeah, I like a decent bit of their stuff.
Okay.
I really like stuff like Follow You Home, Animals.
That's a great song.
Never Again. Like
I didn't expect him to just rattle off all those.
Yeah.
I really didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I like their softer stuff too, but they're really amped up stuff they put out here and there. That's what I really like by them.
Well, I was pretty disappointed because COVID, just like put everything to a screeching halt. Where you couldn't go anywhere, couldn't do anything. Certainly concerts, just again came to a screeching halt. I had tickets to go see Nickelback with Stone Temple Pilots opening up, up in Atlanta from last summer.
I remember that.
I mean, I was really mad because I mean, I got really good prices on the tickets, and I was excited about going. And then first they postponed it. You know, like they postponed everything at the beginning. They're like, all right, everything's on hold. You know, and then finally, I mean, they gave me my money back. So I mean, I wasn't out any money, but it was just, you know, I really wanted to go to the show.
Yeah, I'd rather have the tickets than the money.
Exactly. Especially when I got like a really good price on the tickets. So now that things are, you know, they're starting to kind of open up a little, you know, here and there. There's some shows, there's some, you know, things like that are opening up. Mostly the outdoor festivals are starting to come up.
Rockville's coming up in November.
Right. Welcome to Rockville. That's a big rock festival in Jacksonville. I'm sorry.
Daytona now.
In Daytona.
Yeah.
It used to be in Jacksonville. That's why they called it Rockville for, you know, play on words with Jacksonville. Now it's welcome to Rockville in Daytona. Just, I don't know, loses something. But so is there a band or an artist per se that, you know, you're excited to, you know, you want to go see that you haven't seen before?
My wife wants to go see Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny. So can you describe to a white guy like me what Bad Bunny is?
Well, he's kind of like a rapper, singer for the Hispanic world.
Okay.
He's very famous right now. Just went on WrestleMania and wrestled.
Okay. Did he win?
Yeah, he won.
Oh, there you
won
go.
his WrestleMania debut.
Now,
his tickets are very.
And by the way,
expensive.
I'm not picking on your musical choices because I mean I do the same thing to Smith. He rattles off like 9 bands that I've never heard of.
Right.
You know, and then he'll rattle off the type of music they play, which I've never heard of.
Right.
You know, so I'm like kind of like lost. You know, it's like it's Smith's world. We just all live in it.
Right.
Apparently. You know. So Bad Bunny is a rapper that you want to go see.
Yeah.
Couple other, you know, anything else you want to go that you want to go check out?
I'd like to go see Disturbed if they go to Rockville. I really want to see them. And Bullet for My Valentine, if they go, I want to see them. I like to go see Maroon 5 somewhere. The Backstreet Boys were actually going to Jacksonville. I thought I want to see those guys.
Oh, Phil's really showing his retro side now.
Yeah, I like little 90s stuff. Can't get enough of that.
So all right. So if you were 6 when Nickelback's album came out, when the Backstreet Boys came out, were you even alive?
Yeah, I was like 4 when they're like I think Millennium came out in like 99. I was 4.
So you don't remember the first album?
No,
at least it coming out. You weren't born yet.
I jammed it through just visiting back there. I definitely played a tribute to that guy.
So the Backstreet Boys. So let me ask you, would you pay for Backstreet Boys tickets?
If I got a good price on them, yeah.
You know, so what would be the most that you would pay
for
Backstreet Boys tickets?
Like $100
a piece.
Yeah,
you'd pay $100 a piece to go see the Backstreet Boys.
That's pretty cheap, I thought.
Oh, Phil.
Dude, the Bad Bunny, his cheap seats are like $300.
Oh, jeez.
Like to sit in the pit down there, the bottom's like $5,000.
You really do love your wife, don't you?
Wow. She had to
that's
sell my car to go see this guy.
That's a lot of money. Smith, what would be the most that you would pay for a concert ticket? And not necessarily to Bad Bunny, just I mean to see, you know, one of your heroes or, you know, one of your favorite bands. What would be the most that you would pay? Imagine the best seat, you know, I mean, so that way you're not trying to gauge it, you know, but so the best seat you can come up with, what would be the most that you would actually pay?
I don't think I'd pay more than $200.
200?
If I got like good seats to go see, and I mean, these may not even be that expensive, but something like Upon a Burning Body or August Burns Red. So someone who I'd really just love to see their energy live.
So what I got from that was Smith would pay $200 to watch a burning body.
Yeah. Okay. I won't say I can make that happen, Smith. So it's gonna be tough.
So if anyone has a burning body,
the most I paid for a ticket though, I seen Kevin Hart live in his most recent tour. I sat third row, got a little meet and greet pass with him, and backstage you get drinks for free. It's like $650 a ticket.
You paid $650.
$650 a ticket.
You better be drinking for like a week. You know, they better give you like to-go drinks, you know, forever for $650.
I didn't get, you got to, I guess, go backstage. Then after the show, take a picture with Kevin Hart, then go back again. He's like drinking, just hanging around with people too.
Sure.
So it was a good experience.
Wow. $650. Did you go by yourself?
I took a friend. I paid for his ticket too. Yeah.
He makes way more money than I do.
No, that's a friend. He bought me some. We took me fishing. I was like, you know what, man, I can't just let him take me fishing.
Dude, I'll take you fishing for $650.
No, it was an expensive fishing trip.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. We went out to the ocean for like 10 hours.
All right, like the deep sea fishing and all that kind of stuff. Because I was gonna say, I'm like, you know, there might be a creek somewhere in town. There's a puddle over there in the ditch, and we could go fishing if you want to give me $650 for that. Hey, good morning to Robert Brooker, who's saying good morning. And you'll notice, by the way, that Robert, if he puts the
Felipe.
he says, you know, Paul, Felipe, Billy, Candace. Billy's not in the studio. And Candace, and who does he leave out? But then he picks it back up and he comments again and says, and good morning, Smith. So he didn't want to leave you out. All right. So $650 is what you paid to go see Kevin Hart.
Yes.
So, and then who would be top of the list for you to meet? Not necessarily go see, but if you could meet somebody, a celebrity, or athlete,
celebrity
or athlete, something like that.
Probably Cristiano Ronaldo.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. He is the GOAT.
If he was going, he went to Atlanta. Their team were going to Atlanta, and my friend had like a season ticket. He said, you can have him, but I don't think he's going to go. It's like, wow. It's like, that was a preseason friendly. So he didn't even need to play or injure himself. If that man would have played there, I would have jumped in the field. I'd have went to jail, but I'd have got a picture with this man.
You would have went to jail so you could have a picture with the man. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So if you paid $650 for Kevin Hart, how much would you pay for Ronaldo?
I paid $500 for his jersey.
Wow.
It's just signed.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's a fan right there.
Yeah, I'm a fan of this guy. He's the greatest of all time, though.
So I have to admit, if he's not like the top athlete in his sport, he's definitely right up there.
He's the richest, though, for sure.
Yeah,
he's a billionaire.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, he's loaded with money, and you're giving him more.
I'm
$500 for a signed jersey.
Piece of history.
The guy needs the money, apparently. So Smith, who would be an artist or a celebrity or something like that? That if you could meet somebody, who would it be? I don't know. I guarantee. Somebody I've never heard of.
Jose. No.
I was Santiago, the GOAT.
If I just have to make it obscure, I'd probably say Lord Kokos, the drummer. But Steve Vai would probably be my real answer.
Hey, I know Steve Vai.
If I could jam with Steve Vai for an hour, I think I'd drop $1,000 for that.
I like the Cocos just because the name sounded really cool.
What a freaking amazing drummer! As actually the original drummer for Upon a Burning Body, who has been replaced now. Don't know all the details on how and why that happened.
So Coco's the guy that beats on the burning body.
Yeah.
Is that what you said? Pretty much.
Yes.
What that was.
Yes.
I've had the opportunity working in radio for all those years. I've had the opportunity to get a chance to meet a lot of people. Going backstage and meeting celebrities and stuff like that. And I always, when I worked, I do the classic rock revisit because I'm a rock guy. That's the music that I like. But I worked in country music for a really long time, and I always felt guilty. I really did. I always felt guilty when we would go backstage. We would, we'd have contests on the radio, and winners would get a chance to go, meet different country artists and things like that. And I did. I always felt so guilty because I was never really, that much of a fan.
Right.
So, and I knew that there were people that would just, die. They'd faint, to go see, a certain artist or whatever. And it just kind of became really, it was really a job.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was. It was just part of my job. I was never really excited about, I get to meet, so-and-so, this and that and the other. There were a few, there were a few country artists, that I got a chance to meet who were very nice. Very friendly. And it was kind of cool. Now I will say Charlie Daniels, who just, passed away recently, obviously, he's my favorite person of all the people I've ever met. Super cool guy, laid back, very gracious, was always very friendly with all the fans, very appreciative. So he's high up there. As far as country, Little Big Town, the band Little Big Town, they were really fun. They're from Georgia. So I got a jam. I met those guys 3 different times. Opening up for Alan Jackson and a couple other bands. So I got a chance to meet them, and they were really nice. Montgomery Gentry. Troy Gentry just passed away again, a few years ago, but got a chance to meet them a couple years, and they were really fun. They were really just regular guys.
Just kind of guys.
Just kind of hanging out, stuff like that. Never did meet Garth Brooks.
I thought you met him.
Yeah, a lot of that was the thing. Everybody would always say, "Oh, have you met Garth Brooks?" And I'm like, "No, never met Garth Brooks. Never met Reba, George Strait, some of the
Kenny Chesney.
Yes, I did. And I will say, I know that Billy's wife, April, who just loves Kenny Chesney. The first time, I got a chance, to see Kenny Chesney twice. And the first time he was such a jerk. He was such a jerk. We had winners, and we go backstage. And by the way, a lot of people think that, going backstage, it's not like when you pay to go see Kevin Hart, because when you pay money, then now you get to hang a little bit and you got drinks and stuff like that. But when you're getting free backstage, from a radio station or something like that, it's a cattle call. They put you in a line, you get 5 seconds with the person, maybe they'll shake your hand. It's certainly not now with COVID, but back in the day when it was, when you could, maybe they would shake your hand. Most of the time they didn't. I mean, to be honest. And then you would just turn, they take a quick picture. All right, moving on, next. So they were kind of just, running you through. But Kenny Chesney, man, he was such a jerk the first time. And again, we had winners. So I would always walk up, I'd be wearing radio station stuff. And I walk, and I would always introduce like, hi, how you doing? I'm Paul, I'm with this radio station, blah, blah, blah. These, and and then I would introduce and I'd say, these are our winners, Susan and Tim or whatever. And they won the chance, to come back and meet you. Try to set it up so they understand like, all right, this isn't just radio people, this is a real fan. And he was just so rude. I mean, he was like, hi. Hi. And so let's get the picture. I mean, that's all he said. Hi, let's get the picture. That was it. I mean, so they move him in, they take the picture with him, they move him off. And the lady was so heartbroken, because she was a huge fan,
right?
And she was just like, God, he was so mean,
That sucked.
But I had to, so I had to try to, smooth it over against that. This was before the show too, by the way. It wasn't after the show. So it was before the show. So I didn't want her to like have a bad time thinking he was just a total jerk. So I said, well, you never know. And I wasn't just making up a story for her. I mean, it's the truth. These guys are on the road all the time. I mean, everybody always talks about, the rock and roll lifestyle. And, man, it must be so cool to be a celebrity. You can go anywhere you want and make all this money, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, you think about it. You're on the road. You're on a bus a lot, on a plane. You're in hotels, all that kind of stuff. It's really not that fun. I can see that. It's really not. It's really not that fun, for a lot of those bands. Plus, you don't know if they're sick. Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe he was sick and all this kind of stuff. So I kind of just told him like, hey, you never know. He's on the road a lot. And it was pretty late in the tour too. So I said, it's a grind, kind of, again, making excuses, if you will. They enjoyed the show, had a good time. But in Kenny Chesney's defense, because again, since I threw him under the bus on the first go round, we had a chance to go see him the second time and he was super cool. So again, you just don't know what you're going to get depending on, where they're at in the tour. I think has a lot to do with it too. I mean, if they got a year and a half world tour and you're catching them with like a month left, they're tired.
They don't want to hear this. About a month in.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. But Kenny, when the second time that we met him, it was the flip flop tour is what they called it. So we were on our way to the show with the winners, and I just had this idea. I'm like, hey, let's just stop at like a dollar store and and buy some flip flops, for him to sign for the winners, and so they're like, oh, that'd be so cool. That'd be so much fun. Well, the only ones they had, we just stopped at, on the way, we just stopped at, I think it was Family Dollar or whatever. And all they had were, the basic cheapo black bottom,
the 99-cent flip flops.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Cause that was it. I was like, I don't want to spend, $10 or whatever, cheapskate me. So all they had were the black bottom ones. And then we're like, well, shoot, now how's he going to write on it? Well, one of the guys that I was with, Michael, he was like, hey, let's get a Sharpie that had silver Sharpies so you could actually use them. So we took them back and so we're all, I bought 2 pairs and, I gave Michael and I went and then the winners. So we go backstage and Kenny thought it was just so cool. I mean, he was like laughing because, we had the silver Sharpie and I walked up and I was like, hi, Kenny, da, da, da. And he said, and I said, would you mind signing these? And he literally just bust out laughing. He was like, oh, that's such a cool idea. And he turns over to a security guy and he goes, and he holds up the flip flop and he goes, boy, did we miss a marketing opportunity here. But then he was really nice. I mean, he really was. He was very nice. He signed all the flip flops for us. Took a couple different pictures because we took a picture of the 4 of us, so Michael and I as the radio people with our winners, along with Kenny Chesney. And then I told him, I was like, hey, would you mind if we stepped out? Because I know these winners would like a picture without radio guys, in it. And he was like, sure, no problem. So again, he was very friendly. So he was a really cool dude. As far as, by the way, my mom's messaging, and don't forget Keith Urban. Keith Urban, it was just a bizarre story. I was in Nashville for the radio seminar, a country radio seminar, and you had to have the lanyards to get into all these different seminars. And so I went upstairs and, I took a shower and anyway, I forgot my lanyard. So I'm downstairs and they had these buses, shuttle buses that were taking us to a private dinner. But I had to have the lanyard to get on. So I'm racing up, and they got like 6 different, huge place, the convention center in Nashville. So I'm racing up, waiting on an elevator. So I finally get an elevator, run to my room, grab the lanyard, run back, hop in the elevator. And it was one of those where it was a glass on the outside. So you could see like the outside of the building. So it was glass. So I literally like just kind of run into the elevator and I'm looking for the buses to see if they've left me.
Right.
So I just kind of run, and I'm out of breath and I'm looking at the glass, and I'm like, oh, all right, good. And I'm talking out loud to myself because I run to the glass and I oh, good. All right, it's still there. It's still there. So I haven't turned around yet. And because I just ran into the elevator. So anyway, I don't know. I stood there probably 5 or 10 seconds and then I eventually turn around and Keith Urban's in the elevator. And so I've got my lanyard on and it says, WOKA, Douglas, Georgia. And I cannot do an Australian accent, so I'm not even going to try. So he actually started the conversation and he said, you're from Georgia. And pointed at the lanyard. And I said, yeah. And he said, I love going to Georgia. And he said, Wild Adventures, I've played there. So, and I'm just kind of like, oh, holy crap. That's Keith Urban,
Right.
So I was like a total dork, cause I was so, I guess maybe sidetracked, I was so distracted on, I'm going to be left. My bus is going to leave me. So, I was with him for, like maybe 3 floors. He got off on another floor, but it was just a weird, like one of those weird stories. It's just so surreal.
That's cool.
Yeah, when you go to those, those types of places, and Johnny Van Zant from Leonard Skinner walking through, we're just walking through the lobby, and he clips me with his shoulder, and again, it's a lot of people, so you're just kind of walking through, and he, his shoulder hits mine, and he's like, "You all right, brother?" Like this, I turn around, and I was like, "Yeah." Yeah, and he's like, all right. Well, just want to make sure. And then he just kind of goes on. So it was just very, very bizarre. It really did feel kind of surreal. But some of the rock bands, of course, Van Halen, they're my favorite band of all time.
Met them?
Yes. So I did get a chance. I never met David Lee Roth, because I didn't see them with David Lee Roth until later when he came back for some of the reunion stuff. So I didn't see him on their earlier tour. But I got a chance to go meet him backstage when Sammy Hagar, played with him. And I have to admit, I got a chance to meet Sammy 3 times, twice as a solo artist, once with Van Halen. But the first time that I went backstage, it was one of my first backstage experiences, if you will, when I got to meet Van Halen for the first time. And I was a total dork. I was a complete idiot. My stepbrother Roy went with me. We go there, we go backstage, didn't know what to expect, anything like that. They had him on a little platform, all 4 band members. And what they were doing is they were bringing people up in groups of 4. Mm-hmm. Well, there are only 2 of us. So there's like 2 people that we have to take a picture with that we don't even know. And they're making you go up on the platform. Well, when you came up on the platform, Eddie was first, and then Sammy Hagar, then Michael Anthony, then Alex Van Halen, in that order. Well, what they were doing is they were telling everybody in your groups of 4, to go to the end, like you walk up to the end of the platform, and take your spot. Well, I'm like, there is no way that I'm standing between Alex Van Halen and Michael Anthony when I have a chance to stand between Sammy Hagar and Eddie Van Halen. Right. So I was the first one up on the platform, and I just like squeezed in right between the 2 of them. And I'm like, yeah, you guys go ahead. You guys go ahead doing that. But I had it all when we were in line. I'm in radio. I'm trying to be all professional, and so I'm like, I'm gonna ask him a couple of business, industry questions. Ask him what the new single's gonna be. What's the next release, and all this kind of crap that I thought I was gonna do.
Right.
I get up there, so here I am, and I squeeze. And I'm like, all right, you guys go ahead. You guys go ahead. So they get a couple people. I look at Eddie Van Halen. I look over at Sammy Hagar, and these were the profound words that came out of my mouth. I love your music.
I love you.
That's what I said. I love your music. So that was my big professional backstage meeting with Sammy Hagar and Eddie Van Halen. And Sammy was like, "Hey, we appreciate you playing." Because I'm wearing radio stuff, so it wasn't like I was supposed to be a regular fan.
Right.
I'm supposed to be somebody who knows what's going on and all this kind of stuff. So. And but Sammy just said, "Hey, we appreciate you playing the music." He was really nice. He patted me on the back. I quickly turned, stuck my hand out to Eddie Van Halen to shake his hand, and the damn security guy comes up. He's like, "Come on, let's go." And I was like, So I did touch Eddie Van Halen, shoulder to shoulder,
right,
kind of like that. So I did do that, but I didn't get a chance to shake his
hand. Starstruck there.
So I really was, and like I said, Van Halen was certainly, the most shocking, I guess, because of where I was at in my career, things like that. But then I got a chance to meet other rock bands. Joan Jett was really cool. Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, just met her a couple years ago, and she doesn't do a lot of backstage. So, she was really cool. So again, got a chance to meet a lot of those people, but I did a post on Facebook. I know you saw it. Where I posted, because I know we're running out of time real quick here. But I did a post on Facebook on my personal page where I'd sent something where I said, "Hey, I miss you." And I was basically just, saying that I've had an opportunity in my lifetime,
Yes.
between, my family, my extended family with cousins and, and uncles and things like that. Coworkers, friends, schoolmates, all that kind of stuff, where I've really had an opportunity to meet a lot of different people. And so I was basically just stating with the way life has been going, life just continually moves on, I haven't gotten a chance to see a lot of these people, so I was just basically saying, that just to let people know that you are missed. Right. And it was really cool. Cause I got a lot of people that, commented and they're like, hey, we miss you too. And all that kind of stuff. But really COVID, has really changed so many people's lives, dramatically, so when we were talking about concerts, that's something that, that's something you want to do. It's not really something that you need to do, but, do you have any, extended family or friends that have moved off that you really haven't had a chance to, to see much since COVID happened?
I did have some in South Florida, but luckily work led me there. So I got to stay with them every time I traveled to South Florida.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Smith, do you have any family that's out of state? Any family or friends?
Do have one old friend who's off in Europe now. That sucks, but that's not really COVID related.
See, he's his own man.
Yeah.
Yes, Smith, the question is there's always an oddball answer.
COVID ain't got nothing to do with this.
Most of my family is around here. At least the closely related people who I actually normally talk to.
Gotcha. Well, for those people that are watching, again, we appreciate you watching the show. Feel Good Friday comes your way at 11 o'clock every Friday. Billy, again, safe travels. I know he's either on his way or he's in Atlanta right now. I'm not really sure where he's at.
Good luck, Trevor.
But yeah, going up Coffee High, playing on the field at Truist Park, which is very cool. Yes. And again, then of course, the Cubs and the Braves taking on each other, kicking off the 3-game series today. So we'll see, again, kind of the battle of the bottom feeders at this point. So we'll see who wins the series. Of course, I'm going to say go Cubs because Felipe's son, Little Phil, playing on the rec league Cubs. So now he's a Cubs fan.
So the end of the season, go Cubs.
Were you a Braves fan before?
Not really.
Or just not a big
I just watched
fan?
Baseball. I watched it. I had my favorite team.
Okay, so you didn't really have a favorite team.
I like colors. I like the Dodgers colors. That's about it.
Well, the Cubs are white and blue.
Yeah.
So that's an easy transition for you.
That's right in there
to do that. By the way, the Coffee High, the tickets they were selling. Are you going to one of those games?
Yes, I'm going to the Dodgers game. Friday night game, June 4th.
So you're a Dodgers fan. That's pretty much what you're saying.
I like the uniforms.
Yeah, Phil likes the colors of the uniforms.
I like blue and white. Blue and white's a great color to have.
So you're a fan of laundry.
No, I hate doing laundry. I hate doing laundry.
Smith, any parting words?
Have a good weekend.
You're the man.
There he is.
Let
me think about this. Let's see.
Something generic.
Robert Brooker, by the way, saying that a lot of his family's in other states, New York, Tennessee, Florida, others, California too. Again, it's difficult when you got family members and friends out of state and things like that, especially with COVID. Makes it a little bit more difficult. But looking forward to I'm going to see some of my grandkids coming up next month. And then hopefully going to be heading to Chicago. I'm thinking maybe June.
Catch a Cubs game.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Got to make sure that we do that. So in the meantime, cheers. Don't forget our beer of the week. It is Troptistic by the Sweetwater Brewing Company. You can check out sweetwaterbrewing.com online. I think Smith put the link in there. So have a great weekend. If you're going to be drinking this weekend, make sure you're not driving. Have a great